We were talking about Airbnbs versus hotels. Now, I've never stayed in an Airbnb. I know people that have stayed in an Airbnb. I prefer a hotel, and there are reasons why I prefer a hotel. I listed them in my video. I talk about how I can build points by staying with the same chain. I don't have to do any cleanup. There's always somebody at the front desk, and I have seen the prices of Airbnbs continue to go up and up and up and up. And in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, you got to put your towels in the. You got to do you make sure your towels are in the wash and done, and put your garbage out. You do a little bit more than you do in a hotel. Not in all cases. This person here says, I clean an Airbnb and it has really been slow so far this year. And I think, and my wife and I were just talking, Renee and I were just talking about this. I think there are a number of reasons. Number one, the cost of living is just out of control. So I think people are traveling less. I think that they're staying in places less. But this comment is, I think, part of the problem. And I'm not shitting on you by any stretch of the imagination. But Airbnb, to the best of my knowledge, was originally supposed to be like you have a room, you can rent it out for a little bit to make some extra cash. You have an in-laws suite, you can rent it out for a little bit to get some cash. And the homeowners did the cleanup and did all of that stuff afterwards. And it kind of turned into, well, I have an extra house, or I inherited a house, or I couldn't get rid of our house when we moved, then we're going to rent out this one. And now everybody complains about what? The fees and the fees and the fees and the fees and the fees. Because why? Because the homeowners aren't doing the cleaning themselves. And once again, this is not a blanket statement. There are obviously Airbnb owners that are, clearly. But more and more Airbnb owners are getting away from the aspect of doing it themselves and hiring services. So then you go in and you clean, which is awesome for you. But then the fees go up on that Airbnb because now there's a cleaning service involved with it. And it becomes less and less affordable. Now, people have talked in the comment section about how, well, it's still more affordable, if you're traveling with a big family and you don't want to get multiple rooms. Absolutely. It is more affordable. And you can get better options, maybe on a river, on a lake, somewhere in an area where, you would pay maybe a little bit less than you would go to a hotel with a group of 6, 7, 8 people. Having said that, it's these type of fees that are getting people turned off of Airbnbs, right? It's these type of fees because the Airbnb people are going out and hiring cleaning services and hiring rental companies and hiring property managers and things of that nature. And they have to incorporate that in the fees. So I think that that's part of the reason why you're seeing slower and slower. Now, listen, the economy this year is a huge, huge, huge reason. But if I have to pay an additional cleaning fee because the owner of the home is going to bring in a cleaning company when that's already rolled into the hotel, that's another reason for me to just go to a hotel, especially when it's my wife and I traveling. Now, granted, once again, there are Airbnbs that specialize in certain things and have certain themes or are in certain places where you just can't get a hotel. I'm not saying all Airbnbs are a problem. I'm just saying for my money, and for the places I go to, I would just rather have a hotel.